if you are worried about money, if you're always upset about money, I heard one of my students said, I think for me, money can be like an assassin with a black coat, a hat, like he has a gun in his pocket. I think he's going to shoot me if I don't pay the bills. So money could be a scary monster if you let it. And it's interesting. Money is neutral, but the way you've been brought up and the way you associate with money definitely defines who you are.
We all have an emotional response when it comes to money. Some of us are anxious when it comes to our finances. Some of us spend freely without a second thought. Whatever the case, we all have complex relationships that affect our personal well being as well as our relationships with others. Hi, I'm James Battiston from MoneyWise, and today I'm speaking with Ken Honda, Japan's best selling Zen millionaire and author of Happy Money, The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money. Ken expounds the concept of happy money and encourages each of us to ask ourselves if our money brings joy in our lives. Welcome, Ken. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much, James. I'm so excited and I feel so honored to be here.
Great. So, you've identified 7 money personality types, each with a distinct set of characteristics.
Mhm.
Could you tell me briefly what those are and which do you encounter most often in your day to day life?
Yeah, so in my 20s, I did accounting work, and it's so interesting to see how people's lives and characters show up on numbers on tax return form. Some people are spenders; they love spending. So if I give you, or if I give the person $100, she or he will spend it in 30 minutes. And on the other hand, if you're a saver, she or he will go directly to the bank and deposit the money and don't touch it. And also the gamblers, they just gamble their money. So right after they get the money, they probably go to some gambling facility or online internet gambling. And also there are money makers who are obsessed with many money making ideas. So when you get together with him or her, they always talk about cryptocurrency or whatever the thing is. They love to they love to make money. And the other one is in different types. Those people are like hippies. They're okay without thinking of money. One of my friends is a friend is a college professor. He didn't know he lost his wallet for a week, and the police and somebody gave it, put bring it to the police. So the police traced him, and the police called him. Sir, do you know you just dropped your wallet a week ago? And he didn't know because he doesn't spend money. So there are so many characters, and I'm saying I'm not judging anybody. We are all different.
Absolutely. How did you come to define these personality types? Was it just through personal experience, day to day interaction, or what's the science behind it?
So, in my 20s, I was doing accounting work with my father and with my brother, who were tax accountants. And one time I was at the conference table, and the father passed away, so the mother and 3 kids. So, the eldest son is dressed like a Wall Street type of person, short hair, a nice suit. He seems to be very successful. And the second one is a daughter, and she is somewhat very quiet, and she doesn't look like a daughter of a wealthy family. And the third one looks like a hippie. And I couldn't believe that these brothers and sisters are born and brought up in the same household, but they turn out so different. And then it hit me, and I asked around my friends, and it's so true that your brothers and sisters are different money types from you. So I don't know if we are born that way or definitely grew apart each other. That's why we have a hard time understanding each other.
Absolutely, it's some of it is the nature versus nurture, right? And we'll
Mhm.
we'll get on to that a bit
All
later.
right.
So me personally, I'm a fairly pessimistic person, and I would
Uh-huh.
be identified as a worrier most likely when
Oh,
it
that's
comes
why
to
I forgot to mention that.
money. Absolutely. If you were to identify one way in which people can change their attitudes about money and develop a happier relationship with it, what would it be? And like, is it possible for me to change my, my habits?
Of course you can. But at the same time, we've been this way for 30 years, 40 years, and sometimes 50 years, right? Since you're probably like 6 or 7, we have developed habits of thinking. So it's like if you tend to think negatively, you can turn around and then start thinking positively as of now. And money is the same thing, and it's rooted in a deep place in you.
Mhm.
So that means that if you're a spender, you have this urge to spend. You want to have parties. You want to go experience the world. You have the biggest fear of missing out. Whereas warrior, they have the same fear, but they worry about money. So that's why they save money. And the gamblers the same way. They want to multiple their money, so they don't have to worry about money for the rest of their life. So it's how we react to money, and we have to start thinking about where we are, and if we want to change who we are, of course we can change.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, your book, Happy Money, and you've
Hmm.
again touched on this, centers around how money is effectively neutral. It's a form of energy.
Hmm.
And how we give and receive it in our relationships, it affects our relationship with money and our perception of it.
Yes.
Financial trauma can have a profound impact on how an individual relates to money.
Hmm.
How can someone who has experienced a financial trauma overcome it and achieve happy money?
So that's why I think friendship and partnership are so important, because we've only known about our family, the family that we grew up in. So for some people, money is there. If you are born into a wealthy, financially comfortable family, money was never even a topic in your house. But if you're born and brought up in a challenging, financially challenging families, all your parents talk about is how to pay the bills, or they argue over money. So we come from different background, and with our friends who may be financially well off, who had a hard time, but through them we can understand each other, and that's what's so fascinating about what I do. I feel so honored to be able to touch people in a deeper way, because we all feel the pain. All of us felt some kind of pain when we were growing up. If you didn't have money in the family, you probably felt shame and embarrassment and guilt that it's so frustrating that all your kids used to have have bicycles. Nowadays, it became a PlayStation and probably like a new iPhones. But the same thing, when I was younger, I think I wanted to have a mountain bike, but my parents said that's too expensive for you. They meant it's too big for you. You're not, big enough. They're right, because with the bike I just had into a very big accident. I almost died. So they're right. I wasn't ready. But for me, I wasn't worth it. So it was such a big blow. So I'm sure we had all the terrible experiences that our parents said no to our ballet lessons, summer camps, and little toys or whatever we wanted. Our dreams are crushed one way or another. So I think when you have tough money situations, that is a time to learn to be vulnerable and start asking for help. And I think especially in North America, it's harder. In other cultures, probably many of you don't know, money is a more openly talked about subject. Like in my college graduate reunion, we openly talk about how much money we make to each other, and we congratulate. Oh, James, so you're making that much? God, I'm so jealous. You're doing so great. How's your son doing? So that's part of our daily conversation. But in North America, after 20 years of college graduation, if you get grabbed by somebody, like long distance friend, and say, "Hey James, how much are you making this year?" Probably it's not a polite question, I guess.
You have an immediate reaction to it. It's your back goes like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
So there's so much shame and guilt around money. That's why even about among closest friends in North America, people don't talk about money.
Right.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
it's a cultural thing because you can shock Japanese businessmen by asking about their sexual life, and you'll see the same fear and embarrassment when you grab American businessmen about their financial life. So we have taboos in funny areas, and we can heal them.